Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the pre-stream. The pre-stream for Hate Live podcast tonight. Second podcast of 2015. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be another informational episode. And what I mean by that is that currently there's so much going on. There's a lot of transitional stuff going on. There's a lot of changes coming. And I want to focus on that. I want to talk about that and elaborate on it. I want to get you guys fully informed on what to expect shortly, and some stuff that already is live, and I'm sure a lot of people don't even know yet, because I haven't done a fully fledged introduction to it, okay? And then we're going to take a couple weeks here where next week there will be no podcast, because next week I actually have someone coming to install a toilet on Thursday. And because they're installing the toilet all afternoon, chances are I won't be able to do a gameplay stream then. So I'm debating either doing a gameplay stream later on in the day, which I usually don't do, or I'm debating not doing it at all and just working on my year-end series that day, because by then I'll be in the Game of the Year awards and also working on the funniest moments of the year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, okay? I'll play it by ear, but next week there will be no Hate Live podcast. And then the final Thursday of the month, which is January 29th, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the new episode of Ask the King. So mark your calendars. January 29th, Ask the King returns. The first episode of Ask the King in a good 4 months. Because I think the last one I did was actually either late in September or early October. I'm trying to remember. So you're talking, it's going to be nearly 4 months since I've done one. The hardcore gaming season definitely took its toll on me. And now we're coming back strong. And so we are going to be, bringing that back the last week of January. So, I'll reiterate again. I'm going to say this on the podcast, but since you guys are here on the pre-stream, no Hate Live next week. Okay? No Hate Live next week. The final week of January, Ask the King returns. And I'm going to show you tonight, actually going to show you where to go to post up your questions for that episode of Ask the King. I don't know if I've ever done that before. If I've actually shown people step by step where to go and how to do stuff. I'm going to do that tonight because the new website is live. It is fully functional. People are using it, and I want people to use it. I want this to be the go-to place if you want to know, gee, what's Phil doing today? Gee, what's Phil's, what are your thoughts on Phil's year-end series? What are your thoughts on a playthrough Phil's currently doing? What are some suggestions that I can give Phil of how to use Patreon? How can I submit my questions for Ask the King? Where can I submit fan art and logos for upcoming stuff? That's the website. And, so I need to show you guys how to use it. And there you have it. That's going to be a major portion of tonight's stream, okay? But, of course, we're going to have our usual talking, getting caught up on everything that's going on with me. I'll talk about the games I'm currently playing. I'll talk about all the stuff that I did this week, including the gaming schedule update, which has been live, but I don't know how many people watched it. I haven't been paying attention, quite honestly. We're going to talk about my year-end series and how they're going, my plans of continuing those on. We're going to talk about Patreon. I've got a major update regarding Patreon. And I want to have a discussion, an open discussion of it with you guys. So you understand that it's coming, you understand what it is, and we can maybe go back and forth a little bit talking about exactly what to expect and how I can utilize it and what you can get out of it. Because that's ultimately, if people are going to help me out, I want to make sure that I'm giving you something too. And I hope that you guys will, listen into all the ideas that everyone has had. I'm going to go over them, basically, on the stream tonight. And I want your input. All right? I want to know what you would, if you would consider becoming a Patreon of my work, what would you like for it? What would be fair? What wouldn't be fair? We're going to talk all about this. We're going to talk about my philosophy. We're actually going to talk about, what's changed. Because a lot of people say, I don't understand. Phil said he would never accept donations, which is wrong. I accepted donations in the past. There's a lot of misconceptions. So we're going to have a big discussion about it, just so people get it all cleared up, all right? We're actually going to have wrestling talk on the stream tonight. For the first time in a while, since I have not had Smart Guys going on, my ongoing wrestling commentary show, I'm going to talk about wrestling on Hate Live tonight. But I am going to reveal, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to reveal the fate of Smart Guys. Yes, tonight there'll be a big announcement regarding Smart Guys. All right, there's a little bit of world news I want to talk about. I do want to talk about the United States financial industry and how it's very outdated. Some things that I've run into over the past year, in particular this past couple of months, that are really pissing me off, pet peeves. And hopefully I can give you guys some information so as you start to tackle these things in your own personal life, because undoubtedly as we get older, we're all going to have to deal with this kind of stuff. You'll learn a little bit from my experiences, okay? And then the second half of the stream is going to be a full instructional walkthrough of the new kingofhate.com website. I'm going to show you fully how the schedule works, how the scrolling bar works on the main page. I'm going to show you how to use the playlist search functionality. We're going to go onto the forums. I'm going to show you several different features of the forums that you're going to want to know, where stuff is and how to use them, okay? So it's going to be a fully informational, discussion-filled episode of Hate Live. Now, I know that a lot of you, oh no, where's it back in the day? Phil hasn't done a back in the day segment on Hate Live in a long time. Once the last one was shit back in December, right? I agree with you. At this point, what I'd like to do is start getting information, start getting ideas from people on what kind of things would you like to hear about when I do a back in the day segment. And I got a few suggestions on Twitter last night, but again, I'm going to show you guys on the forums. It's probably the best place to post up your suggestions. I'm going to show you how to do so. So that way I can get a bunch of suggestions and say, wow, it's a good one. Wow, this is interesting. Or maybe I could do a variation of this one, etc., etc. And we'll go from there. Okay? There's also one last thing that I'll be talking about that I didn't write down here on my list. Shit. Let me grab my pen quickly and write it down so I remember to talk about it as we start here. Okay. There. I wrote it down, so we'll jump over and we'll talk about that at some point. I don't want to spoil what it is. Okay. So, thanks a lot, everyone, for being here on the podcast. I'm not going to do a long pre-stream. That's it. In fact, we're going to end the pre-stream right now and get started with the podcast. It may... here's what I would like. I would like this podcast to be an hour and a half tonight. Because the past couple times I did Hate Live, I went way long, like over 2 hours. I would like this to be about an hour and a half. But now that I say that, how much you want to bet I'm going to end up going long? Maybe we'll look out and I'll go short, but let's see what happens, okay? All right. Here we go, ending the pre-stream, starting the podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get it going.